Searing your soul. It's a picture that had to be made. It's a picture that had to be made.
This is just the beginning, so get ready. A lot of people are saying, better start praying to God, because this is this is just the start. But mate, I'm telling you, we have not had a month like this since, well, I can't remember. So much destruction, terrible things happening around the world.
Johnny, there was an acid incident, an acid throwing incident in England the other day. What's going on?
We need to wake up.
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm here to talk through a horrific incident that occurred last night, which resulted in a 31-year-old female and two children aged 3 and 8.
Yeah, Johnny, there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on out there, and it's very disturbing. And what's also very disturbing is a lot of this stuff has something to do with the bloody immigration. Yeah, well, I suppose. Do you reckon? Yeah, immigration.
Hello there, good evening. And we start with the breaking news tonight that 9 people, including 2 children and 3 police officers, have been injured in what firefighters are calling a corrosive incident in southwest London.
No amount of social workers or hand-wringing on social media is going to put right what happened to that woman and her 2 children in London last night.
Now, we don't like to harp on it, Johnny, but the perception is out there that
what has been introduced into UK culture to cause this?
The more immigrants you get in from countries that aren't compatible, let's say, with Western values, the more bloody trouble you're going to have.
Abdul Shakur Azidi is a man at large as the hunt to find him builds.
But Johnny, surely crimes would still happen without bloody immigrants, wouldn't they?
To intensify their nationwide hunt for the man behind a cowardly chemical attack on a mother and 2 young daughters, it's been revealed the suspect, Abdul Shakur Azadi, had arrived in Britain from Afghanistan seeking asylum and was convicted of a sex offence in 2018.
We have let Islamist extremism into Britain, we've let it fester, and now we've let it win.
Obviously, this is on the front page of the papers today. It's a story that everybody's talking about. How could this situation happen then? That this man who arrived illegally in this country was convicted of a sex assault, had 2 failed asylum claims, was eventually given leave to stay here.
But Johnny, it just can't go on forever. I've said that before.
Our absolutely spineless surrender merchant political top brass are rolling over while government ministers wear stab vests and quit their jobs in fear. Veteran Tory Minister Mike Freer has had death threats from Islamists as well as an alleged arson attack on his office. The motive there has still not been established. He's standing down because he doesn't want to die.
Holy shit! Yeah, the politician, Johnny. Yeah, that's a bloody hard one to take. But Johnny, you can't have a politician, even though we hate most of the politicians' guts. You can't have a bloody politician threatened out of his job.
I cannot emphasise how important this is. A minister of the government is quitting his job because he doesn't want to be killed by a lunatic jihadi. And our Prime Minister has said absolutely nothing.
As you say, we don't like politicians very much. I don't know what it is, something about them. But that doesn't mean they should be driven out by fear.
And our Prime Minister has said absolutely nothing. Nothing. A spokesman for Rishi Sunak said he was saddened. Is that it? Our Prime Minister should have been out on the steps of Downing Street saying that we will not be intimidated. We will not let this continue. Enough is enough.
Yeah, no one's keen to talk about it, Johnny. That's pretty common.
Later, and is exactly the whole thing is a con. And the problem we've got now is there's a certain amount of cowardice around the reporting on this and the rhetoric about this because people are afraid to talk about it for what it is. Yeah, it's an immigrant that has come to the UK with a criminal record for sexual assault that has gone on to attack women and children with acid.
More than that.
I mean, maybe we shouldn't be talking about it, but I don't think it's a bloody something that shouldn't be talked about. I mean, if these things are bloody happening, they're happening. Right, yes, of course. You should be able to stay there without having your life threatened, otherwise we end up like bloody, well, the countries these people came from.
Come on, shake it up. Come on, break it up. Come on, lock it up. have the ball tonight.
And in the US, Johnny, you get things happening like this.
With a disturbing story out of New York City where police officers were beaten by a violent mob that police say was made up of migrants. This horrifying video shows the moment that the attackers pounded 2 NYPD officers. Police say those officers were trying to break up a disorderly crowd outside a shelter in Times Square. But when they tried to arrest one of the individuals, the mob attacked, pushing and punching the officers.
Holy shit!
Those guys were freed without bail. And now look at this. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras. He could care less. Another blows kisses as he smiles and laughs. The other suspect next to him also putting up the middle fingers and cursing at those reporters.
Now that doesn't do the illegal immigrant bloody cause any good at all. Are they not even scared? I think they're not even scared, because if they get sent back over the border to Mexico, 2 days later they bloody come back in.
What are the long-term consequences of busing this many illegal immigrants into the most expensive and most densely populated major city in America? Where will they end up once the city runs out of resources to help them? How did New Yorkers feel about them being here? And how is the quality of life for the migrants and their families that now live here?
That border crisis, as we know, is now a dereliction of duty that affects every state in the country.
So without being too pessimistic, Johnny, we got wars and bloody immigration problems and all sorts of shit. They all seem to be bloody,
What has been introduced into UK culture to cause this?
But Johnny, we say it all the time, shouldn't the world be trying to fix up the shitty countries these people are coming from?